Today, air travel is an everyday part of life. We can fly across continents in mere hours, and airlines operate thousands of flights every day. But have you ever wondered how it all started? How did humans go from dreaming about flying to actually soaring through the skies? The story of the first airplane is one of ambition, innovation, and perseverance. It's a tale of visionaries who refused to accept the limits of gravity and changed the world forever. So buckle up as we take you on a journey through the history of aviation, from the earliest flying machines to the first successful airplane and the impact it had on the world. The dream of flight, early attempts to fly. For centuries, humans have dreamed of flying. Ancient myths and legends tell stories of people soaring through the skies, like Daedalus and Icarus from Greek mythology, who made wings from feathers and wax. But beyond myths, real attempts at flight date back over 1,000 years. In 9th century Spain, an inventor named Abbas ibn Firnas created what might be the first recorded attempt at human flight. He built a winged contraption and jumped off a tower, managing to glide for a short time before crashing. While he didn't succeed, he proved that controlled gliding was possible. Fast forward to the 15th century, and Leonardo da Vinci was sketching detailed designs of flying machines. He studied bird flight and designed contraptions like the ornithopter, a machine with flapping wings meant to mimic birds. Though it was never built, Da Vinci's work laid the foundation for future aviation studies. In the 18th and 19th centuries, hot air balloons became the first practical way for humans to take to the skies. In 1783, the Montgolfier brothers launched the first successful manned hot air balloon in France, proving that humans could indeed leave the ground. However, balloons lacked control, and inventors soon realized that a machine capable of powered flight would be needed. While these early efforts were impressive, true flight, the ability to take off, control the aircraft, and land safely was still just a dream. But that was about to change. The Wright brothers, the first powered flight. The most significant breakthrough in aviation history came in the early 20th century, thanks to two American brothers from Ohio, Orville and Wilbur Wright. Unlike many inventors of their time, the Wright brothers didn't just build flying machines based on theories. They studied the science of flight in depth. They started by building and testing gliders, learning how to control them in the air. They studied aerodynamics, lift, and propulsion, and through trial and error, they made key discoveries that led to the creation of the first true airplane. On December 17, 1903, at Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, the Wright brothers made history. Orville Wright piloted the Wright Flyer, a heavier-than-air, powered aircraft, for 12 seconds, covering a distance of 120 feet. Though short, this flight was controlled, sustained, and repeatable, making it the first successful airplane flight in history. The Wright Flyer was powered by a 12-horsepower engine and used a system of wing warping, a method of bending the wings to control turns, a technique that would later evolve into modern ailerons. On that same day, the Wright brothers completed 4 flights, with the longest covering 852 feet in 59 seconds. Though their plane looked nothing like modern aircraft, it proved that powered flight was possible. The world would never be the same again. The impact of the first airplane. The Wright brothers' success didn't immediately lead to the aviation boom we see today. In fact, for several years, few people believed that their small flights in North Carolina were significant. However, as they continued to improve their designs and demonstrate their planes publicly, the world began to take notice. By 1908, the Wright brothers had developed a new aircraft that could carry a passenger. They showcased their planes in Europe and the United States, convincing governments and investors that airplanes had a future. Soon, military forces around the world started exploring aviation for reconnaissance and warfare. Within just a few years, aviation had advanced rapidly. By 1914, airplanes were being used in World War I, marking the beginning of military aviation. Pilots engaged in dogfights, dropping bombs, and using aircraft for surveillance, something unimaginable just a decade earlier. The world's first airplane wasn't just a scientific achievement, it transformed transportation, warfare, and communication. It turned the impossible into reality and paved the way for the aviation industry we know today. Aviation takes off. The rise of commercial flight. After World War I, aviation began shifting from military use to commercial applications. Engineers started designing planes for passenger travel, and by the 1920s, airlines were being established. The first airlines were slow, expensive, and only for the wealthy, but the potential was clear. In 1927, Charles Lindbergh completed the first solo, non-stop transatlantic flight, flying from New York to Paris in his plane, the Spirit of St. Louis. His 33-hour journey captured the world's attention and proved that long-distance air travel was possible. By the 1930s and 40s, major advancements in aircraft technology made flying faster, safer, and more efficient. The introduction of pressurized cabins, more powerful engines, and larger planes allowed airlines to offer more routes and carry more passengers. The biggest turning point came after World War II, when the aviation industry exploded. The invention of jet engines in the 1950s allowed for commercial airliners that could fly across the world at incredible speeds. Suddenly, traveling between continents became an everyday possibility. By the 1960s, flying was no longer just for the rich. Commercial airlines like Pan Am, British Airways, and Lufthansa were operating large fleets, and airports were popping up around the world. Today, thanks to that first airplane, over 100,000 flights take off every day, connecting people, businesses, and cultures in ways the Wright brothers could never have imagined. The evolution of aircraft, from propellers to space travel. Since the Wright brothers' first flight, airplanes have gone through incredible transformations. In the 1940s, the jet engine revolutionized speed, leading to the creation of planes like the Boeing 707, which made transatlantic flights routine. Then came the supersonic age. In 1969, the Concorde made history as one of the first commercial planes capable of flying faster than the speed of sound. This meant passengers could fly from London to New York in under 3 hours. But aviation didn't stop at Earth's atmosphere. By the 1960s and 70s, engineers were already designing spacecraft, leading to the Apollo moon landings and the rise of space exploration. The same principles that made the Wright Flyer possible helped us build rockets, space shuttles, and now reusable spacecraft like SpaceX's Falcon 9. Today, we're seeing new breakthroughs in electric aviation, A-controlled planes, and even hypersonic aircraft that could one day make flights from New York to Tokyo in just an hour. The sky is not the limit. From the first gliders to modern jetliners, the dream of flight has come a long way. What started as a 12-second flight in 1903 has led to a world where planes carry millions of people daily, and we're even looking at flights to Mars. But the story isn't over yet. The future of aviation is greener, faster, and smarter than ever before. Will we see flying cars? Will AI pilots replace humans? Will space travel become as common as air travel? One thing is for sure, the Wright brothers' dream of powered flight has only just begun. If you enjoyed this journey through aviation history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more amazing content. Where do you think the future of flight is heading? Let us know in the comments below.